The Milwaukee Bucks, a team that, Jared, you were not very high on in your first appearance on this here podcast. Doc Rivers is taking over. Their transition defense has gone from bad to not so bad. I feel like Giannis is making a quiet sort of surge to the MVP conversation. I don't think he'll win it because there's a stink on him after the Adrian Griffin firing. I think if there's a chance that he can win it, I think that he should win it because I don't think we should hold that part against him.
You're being the media right now. You're being the bad, devilish media who's creating these narratives for fans to take and say, this is what voters are thinking. The voters are not going to avoid Giannis on their first or second line because of the Adrian Griffin
I didn't say they were going to avoid him, Jared.
There's not a stink on Giannis in the MVP conversation because of the Adrian Griffin firing. The issue with Giannis right now not winning MVP is this guy in Denver who is the best player in the NBA. To generalize that for this year is unfair. It's taking away from what Jokic and, in my mind, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander are doing. Giannis not being in the top 2 in MVP or not being right there neck and neck with these guys has nothing to do with Adrian Griffin or Mike Budenholzer. It has everything to do with how darn good Nikola Jokic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander have been.
Two things can be true at the same time, Jared. Jokic is incredible. He's unstoppable, all that. And yes, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is doing things that had this been in a different year, if we didn't have so much oxygen on the old guys, we'd be saying, hey, man, let's go pay attention to what this dude is doing in Oklahoma City. And because we spent so much time on the old guys who are not going to be around past the second or third week of April, that we have all these quote unquote new faces that
don't change the conversation.
We don't know how to promote.
Do you or do you not believe that people will be influenced on not voting for Giannis for MVP because of what has happened with his last 2 head coaches?
I think partially it's a voter fatigue thing because Giannis won those. Oh, Jared is just done with me.
Because
Jared is done with me.
This is black and white. There are no blurred lines here. There is no Giannis fatigue right now. That is disrespecting Jokic. Giannis is not getting votes because Jokic is that darn good. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been more impactful on winning than Giannis. Giannis is right there. He's having a great year. The only way you could say if this was another year is if Jokic was not playing basketball this year. That's the only way Giannis would be neck and neck in the MVP race.